Hello and welcome to Case Closed. I'm your host, Charlie Langton. Today we'll go inside an actual courtroom in the Warren District Court and see real small claims cases in action. Under Michigan law, small claims cases may be brought by individuals seeking $3,000 in damages or less. Neither side may be represented by an attorney, and the judge's decision is final. Now, let's take a look at the first case of Which Watch is Which?
Thirty-seventh District Court is in session. Oh, Judge Schmer presiding. Please remove your hats and shut off your cell phones.
I dropped off my watch at Green Lane Jewelers back in December to get the band and the battery changed. I've had work done there multiple times. It's the only place I've taken my watch in the last couple of years. They've always done a good job, but when you go to Green Lane, they give you a claim ticket that doesn't describe anything about what you're dropping off. I went to pick up my watch the next day, and I was in a hurry, and just looked at it really quickly, paid my $22 for the band, and went home. When I got home, I realized it wasn't my watch. It's a simple gold watch with a black band. Looks like 100 other watches, but this was a bull of a watch that I got back. Mine was a Geneve. It had a month window on it that my watch didn't have. It had somebody else's initials on the back. It's either DLG or DMG on the back. Those aren't my initials. The watch is a Geneve, and Green Lane will tell you, and they're right, that it is a generic brand, but Geneve is a premium band, so it was a rather expensive watch, and the watch was about 10 years old and has some sentimental value. I called Green Lane that morning, went over there that...
What do you mean that morning? You said you got
the
home...
next day, the next morning.
So you called them the next morning?
The next morning.
All right.
And went there that same day. And again, on the claim ticket, there's no, that's my mistake, there's nothing written on there that says what it is. And the only thing Green Lane told me immediately was to have my insurance cover it, my homeowner's insurance cover it. We talked for a little bit, decided to wait a few days and see if somebody brought a watch back in. That didn't happen. So, that's basically why we're here. I'm assuming it's just an honest mistake. But I have to tell you that the Green Lane store is very small, it's cluttered, it's disorganized, and I could see this happening. But again, I just think it's an honest mistake. So I would like my watch back or something comparable.
Well, you're suing for $1,000.
A Geneve watch, the way that I'm assessing that, it's 10 years old. I do not have the original receipt. I've gotten on eBay. Most of the watches, just like this one, are going for around $1,200. It's a 14-karat gold watch. The 18-karat gold watches are going for around $1,800 up to $3,000, but $1,000 is on the low to average end of what they're going for.
Well, you got, what, a bull of a, you said, back?
I got a bull of a back.
How much is that worth?
I didn't check.
Maybe it's worth more than $1,000.
No, I think it's worth a couple $100.
How do you know that?
Just from reading ads in the magazines.
All right. You still have that watch?
No, he's got the watch. I have no watch.
It's right there. That's the watch in question. I guess, and you're saying that watch there, the one that you got back, looks similar to the one you dropped off?
This is a $4 gold watch. If you look at a plain gold watch with a band like this, again, I was in a hurry. I just picked it up and went home. If you're going to read the name on this or read the name on that, I'd have to wear my cheater glasses. So, they all look relatively, very similar.
Okay. But I guess what I'm getting at is it just seems a little strange that you wouldn't notice something like that right away, particularly since this watch that you dropped off is apparently valuable. $1,000 is a lot of money for a watch, at least for me. I take watches to have them fixed all the time, and when I get them back, I know my watches. I know if it's mine or not immediately.
Again, I got to tell you, this is a very simple gold watch. That's a very simple gold watch. The Geneve is also a very simple gold watch. I've done business with them many, many times before.
Right.
I had no reason to think that anything like this would happen. And again, I was in a hurry when I went to pick it up. But whether it was wrong at that point in time or when I got it home, I think is irrelevant. But, if you take a quick look at that watch versus the Geneve, I don't know that you'd tell a whole bunch of difference.
Did you look at the watch when you went to pick it up?
I looked at the
Right?
band. I had asked for a new band and a new battery, and I just looked at the band and said, the band looks great.
You didn't look at the watch?
I just looked at it really quickly. I would have to put on a pair of glasses to read the name on it. I did not do that.
Well, the woman wants the right watch. Does the defendant have any explanation?
Well, which one of you wish to speak to this?
Well, first I'd like to make a correction.
All right.
At no time in the conversation the next morning did I tell her to file a claim with her insurance company. She asked for my insurance company's name, and I did not give it to her.
Okay.
Okay. Yes, she brought a watch to us. My sister Suzette took it in. She gave it to me because I was busy working on other watches at my bench
That day?
that day. It was specified that she had taken the watch to another store for a battery, and they could not open the watch.
They couldn't.
Okay, this watch which I worked on is very unusual because I had to use a single edge razor blade to even find a case cut to get in to even try to open it up.
All right.
So it's a very hard watch to open up. Plus, we put a band on. Now, I'll show you the watch.
All right, this is the watch you gave her, right?
Right.
This is
That's the watch I took in, that's the watch I gave her back.
Bulova Quartz, and it's got, looks like the initials DCG
Right.
on the back. You don't know who those initials are? Not
Initials
yours.
are REB.
Did it have your initials on the back of the watch?
No, I had no initials on the back of it. And my watch had a dent in the back casing because it was difficult to get off.
All right, go ahead.
Okay, and the next day, I did what I needed to do. I got the back off, put the battery in, put a new band on, put it back in the package. Roseanne came in the next day to pick it up. I was the one that helped her because I saw her come in the store.
You gave it to her the next day?
I gave it to her. The first thing she said to me before she even handed me the money was, "The watch looks great, I'm glad to have it back."
Okay.
The watch looks great, I'm glad to have it back. She gave me the money, gave her a change, she left. The next day she calls, says it's not her watch. Now, on the 25th of September of this year, our store will be in business 50 years, which our parents started.
Okay.
Now, in that 50 years, we have probably serviced, I'm gonna guess, over 25,000 watches. We have never given back a watch to somebody that wasn't theirs. We've never misplaced a watch. And since the day Roseanne dropped that watch off, we have never had anybody call, inquire, ask about getting the wrong watch. Now, when she called, I said, "Well, what did your watch look like?" She said, "My watch is much smaller and has a different face." Now, if somebody was to receive a watch that's much smaller than that one, I think they would inquire about it.
Is that true, ma'am? Is that
I told him the face was slightly smaller. I didn't say it was much smaller.
slightly smaller?
Slightly, after you look at it,
Okay.
yeah, it's slightly smaller.
And what else?
I had, first of all, he did tell me to go with my homeowner's insurance.
All right, well, I don't really care about that.
Okay.
That doesn't really matter.
The watch is hard to open, and, the only thing I can say is I've never had to sue anybody, I can take that they've never had any issues, but I've never had to go through this kind of process to get.
First time for everybody, ma'am.
That's right.
Okay.
But the watch face is exactly the same. They had white faces, but again, a gold watch with a black band is very common. And if you take a quick look at it, and I was in a hurry when I picked it up, and I didn't take a hard look at it. I was looking at the watch band.
The defendant has a duty to return the watch in the same or better condition. But there's a factual dispute here, so the judge is going to have to pick one. Let's see which watch the judge picks.
It is a he said, she said case, but I think it's a little bit more than that also. It's not quite that simple. I sit in this case as the trier of fact. And I do what a jury would do. If this case were a jury trial, I would hear the testimony, I would hear the evidence, and I would make a decision based upon what the testimony is and what the evidence is, and I would find facts. I would make rulings on questions of fact. I would decide that, and when I do that, not only do I evaluate the testimony that's given to me, not only do I listen to what's being said, but I also listen to that and evaluate that in terms of everyday life experiences. That's what jurors do, that's what triers of fact do, whether the trier of fact is a jury member or whether he's the judge.